So this is lesson 12.3, surface area of pyramids and cones. So a regular pyramid is a pyramid whose base is a regular polygon. Remember that the word regular, when we talk about polygons, the word regular means that the sides are congruent and the angles are congruent. So a regular pyramid has a regular polygon base and the lateral faces are congruent. So the first thing that we need to do is talk about the formulas. Lateral area of a pyramid equals 1/2 times P, which stands for the perimeter of the base, times L, which stands for slant height. And then the surface area is the lateral area plus one base, because there's only one base. So let's look at our first example. Our first example is a square pyramid. So same process as before. I always find the perimeter of the base. I always find the area of the base. And then we are going to identify the slant height every single time as well. So the perimeter of the base is 8 times 4, which equals 32. The area of the base, well, the base is a square, so that's 8 squared, which is 64 units, and I think my units are meters squared. The slant height, well, I'm going to draw a picture of, here's my height coming down. Maybe you can see it better if I highlight it in black. So that means this is 6. The slant height would be this right here. So we need to know a couple of things. First of all, I know that my height of my pyramid is perpendicular, but I also know that this height comes down directly in the center of the polygon, which, if you think about this, if this whole measure right here is 8, then this measure is 4. So to find my slant height, L, I have to use the Pythagorean theorem. 4 squared plus 6 squared equals L squared. 16 plus 36, well, that's 52. So the square root of 52 is L. And I'm going to leave it just like that. I'm not going to do anything else with it. So let's talk about the lateral area. So the lateral area equals 1/2 times the perimeter, which is 32, times the slant height, which is the square root of 52. Well, half of 32 is 16, so I just need to take 16 times the square root of 52. And that is about, I cannot see, that is about 115.37. 115.37 meters squared. So since I was rounding to the nearest tenth of a unit, 115.4 meters squared. Now let's look at my surface area. My surface area is my slant height, is my lateral area plus the area of the base. So my lateral area, I'm going to use the unrounded measurement, 115.37, plus the area of the base, 64, and that equals 179.37, which rounded is about 179.4 meters squared. All right, let's do the next one. All right, so let's look at what we know. First of all, perimeter of the base. This is a hexagonal pyramid. That means that the base is a regular hexagon. One side is 6, so that means that the perimeter is 36 meters. I need to find the area of the base. I I already know that the apothem is 7.5. So the area of the base, 1/2 times the apothem times the perimeter. The next thing I'm going to do is look for the slant height. When I think about the slant height, I'm using this measure here as 6, this measure here as 12. So this is my slant height. So I want you to pause and go ahead and find your slant height, then find your lateral area and your surface area, and let's see how you did. All right, so my base area is 135.648 meters squared. My slant height, 6 squared plus 12 squared equals L squared. So my slant height is the square root of 180. My lateral area, 1/2 of 36 times the square root of 180 is approximately 2,417.4 if I was rounding to the nearest tenth meters squared. My surface area is about 2,553 meters squared. All right, so we also have lateral area and surface area of a cone. So the lateral area of a cone, pi r L, L still being the slant height, compared to the surface area, which is the lateral area plus the area of the base. So base, remember, is a circle, pi r squared. So if my radius is 3, that means that my base area is 9 pi meters squared. My slant height, I don't know what that measurement is, but look, I have a nice right triangle here. It just so happens that this is a 3, 4, 5, so L is 5 meters. So my lateral area is pi times my radius times my slant height, which is 5. So I have pi times 3 times 5. So my lateral area is 15 pi. My surface area is my lateral area, 15 pi, plus my base area, 9 pi. So my surface area is 24 pi meters squared. I would always leave the answers to surface area of cones and cylinders in terms of pi. It just makes your life easier. So here I have a composite figure, and I want to talk about what two shapes I have. I have a cone stacked on top of a cylinder. So I need to find the surface area. So I'm going to write the formulas. First of all, the lateral area of a cylinder, 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. So that's not the lateral area. That's going to be the whole surface area. 2 pi r h is my lateral area. 2 pi r squared is my area of my base, and there should be 2 of them. But then let's talk about a cone. The surface area of a cone, pi r L plus pi r squared. So those are the formulas. However, I want to talk about something. This cone is stacked right on top of the cylinder. So the cone base is smashed together with the cylinder base, and they don't really exist. There is no base. The only base that this shape has is the very bottom. So I am just really finding the lateral area of the cone, and to the cylinder I'm only adding the area of one base. So let's do it up. The first thing I need to find is my slant height. So my height of my cone is 14, radius is 7. So 14 squared plus 7 squared equals L squared. So 14 squared plus 7 squared equals, so L squared equals 245. That means that L equals the square root of 245. So my surface area, pi, well, remember, it's really just going to be the lateral area, but pi times my radius, which is 7, times my slant height, which is the square root of 245. And to that I'm going to add 2 times pi times my radius of 7 times my height of 12 plus pi times 7 squared. So I have 7 pi times the square root of 245 plus 2 times 7 times 12 equals 168 pi plus 49 pi. So 168 plus 49 so I have 217 pi, and the square root of 245 I'm just going to leave this as 7 pi root 245. So to the nearest tenth, 7 times pi times the square root of 245 plus 217 pi equals 1,026, because it comes out to be 1,025.9 meters squared. So I know that one was a little bit tricky. You have to pay attention to that in your textbook, because I think you have two composite figures, two shapes that are stacked on top of each other, and so some of the bases are going to get canceled out. So that's all I have for you. Get started on your homework.